Our current president, President Museveni, came and said the problem was security. Now security is done. What is remaining? There's insecurity in our homes, in our pockets. And people are poor, whereby 84% of Ugandans live on 26%. In short, every 26 people and every one person of 26 people are supporting 84. It means poverty in this country is high. I heard President Museveni talking about GDP. I heard him talking about poverty reduced in Uganda, but those are numbers which are disputable. Poverty is in how you see your life, how you manage your daily lives, how you live in your house. Are you meeting your basic needs? Are you able to take your children to school? Are you able to get medical? Are you able to transport yourself from one point to another? Are you having a roof over your head? Is your life okay? These are the issues why we come in this election. I want to thank my party, Forum for Democratic Change, for giving me an opportunity to carry their flag as a presidential candidate. And this I attribute to my party leaders, my brother, who is the current president of the party, POA, that's Patrick Amriat Oboy, my chairman, Jack Sabit, whom I've known from my younger days as a civil servant, and he has mentored me up to date, all my members of NEC, National Council, Delegates Conference, and the party members and the Uganda at large. This election which I come, I bring a new menu, which all of Ugandans should take. I don't come with hatred. I don't come with anger. I come to build bridges where there are no bridges. I come to repair bridges where are broken. 40 years down the road, President Museveni has done what he can. The remaining period he can't do it. It needs a new blood to fix it. And I'm asking people of Uganda, this is an opportunity for you to allow new blood in Nandala Mafavi for you. This country, our youth are suffering. Poverty is on increase with the youth. They tell the youth are taking marijuana.
1 p.m. He requested that he be allowed to report at 1 p.m. So we shall proceed to have the next aspirant at 1 p.m. We thank you. I think, Julius, where's Julius? I think our guests, please be comfortable, keep around. I think you will be ushered into a place for refreshments, so that we want your presence to be meaningful to us. Thank you so much.
Are you staying up to one? Huh? Are you staying up to one? Staying here.
% of the national budget, so that we develop this country. As we develop the agriculture sector, we need to look at what the farmers produce. Do we have market? If there's no and cash it anytime for the purpose of his life. I talk about coffee. I can tell you I am a child of a teacher, of teachers and farmers. We know growing coffee. I want to state that Nairobi now, which is Kenya government and Rwanda government, they are on the New York Stock Exchange. They are taking their coffee at a premium, while ours we are just throwing away. You can imagine a Senate government to allow our Ugandan coffee to go at a cheaper rate instead of going at a premium. I want to implore all of you to take the New York board. You will discover that the Kenya coffee, which has poor quality, and Rwanda is going at a higher price compared to ours. And that's why they come here to buy ours for purpose of going to blend theirs instead of us getting the highest premium. As a president of your country, if you give me the mandate, coffee, which is the leading foreign exchange earner, which was one of those which brought independence in Uganda, will get the best treatment and you will get value for this country. We intend to revamp, and I don't know, of course, I can say revitalize cooperatives. I am a chairman of this cooperative union, the only surviving one. There is no country which can develop without cooperatives. Leave lip service of talking about cooperatives. You must have cooperatives which work. I want to tell you, I come with experience in the cooperative world. I will ensure cooperative societies work. And when a cooperative society works, it will ensure that the people of Uganda, who are those lower side people, will earn lives. And that's why I say I come with experience to make sure that all regional cooperative societies are revitalized, start functioning for purpose of helping our poor farmers to earn a living and put money in their pockets. This one is a sure deal because you are dealing with a person with experience, and I come with total experience in that area. Of course, all of you know this cooperative union, when it came, was dead, was on its knees. Now it's the glory of the region, and that's why you go to Redusu, you're having people putting up iron sheets or tiles or buying cars, doing good life better to look after themselves. We intend to ensure that we have money at a village level. All of you know we launched a manifesto which is now being copied by some party members and some members of other parties, including the president of this country, because our manifesto was the first to be launched. It's the best manifesto, and I implore every Ugandan to read it. And one of the pillars there, of course, we talk about employment. We talk about strategic investment. We talk about human capital. We talk about special interest. All these are embedded, the 5 pillars, in our manifesto. I'll talk about a few in the summary so that you know what type of manifesto we have. In village level, we intend to allow money at village level. Every village will have 100 million shillings every year. Every parish will have 100 million. Every sub-county will have, those are for the leaders, going up the district at 500 million. Somebody will ask, where will you get money for a village? Currently, this country is bleeding. Corruption and mismanagement totals 10 trillion shillings. We have 72,000 villages. If I give you 100 million, it means that is 7.2 trillion. So the interest which I'm going to do is to plug and ensure there is no corruption in this country. And I'll have 10 trillion to service the village levels. I can tell you villages, you are going to have money under my leadership. Others are saying they are going to do it again. They have been around for 40 years. They have not done it. In fact, President Museveni does not need to put a poster anywhere for 40 years because he has been around. If somebody can put a poster, then there must be a problem. If somebody can talk about going to fight corruption when you have had the power for 40 years, if somebody can talk about that he's going to change roads when he has been here for 40 years, if somebody can talk that he's going to give you money in his pockets, in your pockets when he has been here for 40 years and he has not done it, it shows that's a total failure. It's now time to give new blood who can implement this idea. Sports. We have said sports, every school will have sports fields, facilities. I heard President Museveni saying no registering a school without a sports facility. Where has it been 40 years? Where? That clearly now copying and pasting. Now the person who can do it is Nandara Mafwebe and his team. Every school will have sports facilities. I can speak without contradiction. If a Speaker of Parliament can build a stadium, what about government? I can assure you this is possible and can be done. Colleagues and countrymen, we have talked about having employment for our youth. The reason why we have unemployment is because we are, instead of putting money in productive sectors, we are putting in unproductive sectors. Our government will make sure money is put in productive sectors to generate jobs. The youth, I want to assure you, and my government you are going to get jobs. And this is why we even start and said every graduate who is going to leave, the day on your graduation, you will go with 1 million shilling to go and start life. That shows it is possible. I have heard President Museveni saying that within now 2 years, he's going to provide them some money. What happened 40 years down the road? You never saw that graduates are suffering. It is important that you have a leader who will keep his word, who will move this country forward. I come here without any hatred. No hatred. We want to thank President Museveni has done what he could for 40 years. It's time for him to be a senior citizen, our advisor to us. Let him rest. We don't want him to die because of stress of work. Here are young men now and Nandara coming to do that for him. And I can tell you I am the best candidate for this election. I'm calling people of Uganda to support me without fear or favor. I want you to support me. I am the best you have. This is the best menu you have. I ask all parties to support me. I ask NRM to support me. And I can tell you, nobody will be witch-hunted. No. We say thank you. And I repeat, we are going to build bridges where there are not, repair where there are no bridges. Finally, on this leg, we have decided to make our rally at a place called Kampala Road in Butabika. That place is in a slum area. We did it intentionally to tell the people of Uganda that we are aware of your problem. And we are coming there to show you that this problem where you are is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty, you want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. Hallelujah. And nobody made an application to God.
Check your hallelujah.
All of us found ourselves here. And that's why we say,
hallelujah.
I want you to go to the hospital, whether in Kisoro or Koboko, get equal treatment. That's why we want all regional hospitals instead of having one referral hospital. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do medical tourism where people go to South Africa, go to India, go to Dubai, go to America to look for treatment. And those who go are members of parliament, ministers, all those who can catch the eye of a president. I want you to go to Mbale Hospital and get what you would get. I want you to go to a Royal Hospital to get what you would get.
Yes, Lord, hallelujah.
That my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kabale, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure the school will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they don't not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elders to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants like medical facilities. You will call Mulago Hospital where there's a building where used to be CMA. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. I have technical people whom I put ahead. I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There is no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math or you did chemistry or you did physics or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Lugiso or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need the teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So why would you disadvantage a teacher of English? All this will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides start dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Gulu, you go to Chisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I'm the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age, so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people.
Thank you very much, candidate Mafabi Nathan, the FDC flag bearer. I'm going to invite a few questions for the candidate, and I'd love to have two gentlemen and two ladies first. Okay, if the two, any ladies, please. Okay, as they prepare themselves, please mention your name, the media house, and please stick to the theme of today. Thank you so much.
William Muranga from Beg Media, stroke Beg TV. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now Excellency to be. Your previous...
You say Your Excellency.
Your Excellency to be. You have previously worked with the World Bank before we saw you in politics in Uganda. Uganda keeps on borrowing from the G7. What will be your position when you become president? Because our borrowing is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can answer. Yes, you can answer.
If you have gone to borrow, it means you will pay back and you pay with interest. So Uganda borrows because it has very little to manage their budget. So we have been borrowing to fill the gap of the budget, the deficit. Currently, the figures are beyond 50%. 50% of our GDP. So that means every year we are borrowing 50% of our budget goes to service debt. Goes to service what? Debt. I'm just assuming now at 50. 10 trillion is stolen. 7 trillion is in public administration. At the end, you find that the money which remains, which goes for service delivery, is about 10%. This is a big cost to this country. The reason our country is not moving forward is basically because of borrowing and the mismanagement of public resources. So as a president of your country, if you give me the power, number one is to reduce debt. And the debt can be reduced in the following manner. Currently, we have a narrow tax base. And this narrow tax base are the very few people whom we charge every day. And some of you, of course, you are part of the narrow tax base. If you go to buy soap, you pay tax, it's VAT. If you go to buy sugar, you pay tax at VAT 18%. So in short, instead of buying a kilo of sugar, you buy a quarter because you cannot afford because of tax. And because of that, it costs this country that people don't get enough to live on. So number one is to increase the tax base, to ensure everybody is in the tax bracket, and pay little. At the end it will be more, and you will service the debt, current debt, and don't go to borrow money for non-productive sectors. Money should be for only productive sectors. And this, if done within 1 year, this country would change. You recall, in 1997, we were told, HIPIC, all our debt was written off. If this country was serious, by now would be in surplus budget. Instead, every year, we're running a deficit budget. I can assure you, if you block losses, if you block mismanagement, if you reduce on public administration, I can tell you we shall reduce debt, and at the end, within less than 3 years, would be in surplus. And the people of Uganda will be living a better life. That's why we say, have money in your pocket. How will you have it? If instead of spending 10,000 to buy one item, I'll spend 10,000 to buy many items, because the money will have value and there will be lower cost of goods and services.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. To be Jethro Kasaiji, I work with UPC. About governance and leadership, how do you intend to practically actually empower institutions of accountability, that is IGG, Auditor General, but also Parliament, to fight corruption? Thank you.
I think you know that I'm good at that. You are aware of the Chairman Park, where we heard the untouchables to become accountable. I am very good. We have the best laws in this country for Auditor General's office, for IGG, for CID, mention it. The only thing is lack of will to support them. Because if the Auditor General produced a report that this such and such resources are missing, and you, the executive, does not implement it, it shows you are demoralizing an institution. If IGG produces a report and you don't work on it, you are demoralizing the institution. And also you must give them resources to do work. It does not mean that you have a dog you are not feeding and you assume it will look after you. It will look after the neighbor who is feeding it. So it is important that these institutions have laws, be facilitated, do work, and whatever they produce, act on it. And you need a man like Nandala to act on such, not the current president, because he has no capacity. Even now, public administration. Let me give an example, Parliament. Our Parliament is too big. Too big. We have created many districts, and whenever you create a district, you have a member of Parliament who is a woman. You'll have LOC5 and the local government. Why did we create them? Because of lack of service delivery. People were thinking if they create this, they'll have this. Parliament needs to be reduced. I can tell you this is one of the topics some people don't want to hear. I and my team will make amendments to ensure that districts are represented by 2 people only, 1 directly elected member of Parliament and 1 for women who represent for purposes of gender sensitive. That's why I have my wife here. For over 30 years we have been together because I'm gender sensitive.
I congratulate you, Mr. Nandala, on your nomination. So I'm grateful. I have 3 questions. Question number 1, we have leaders with mask. People put on a mask.
I'm not one of those.
Let me finish. Number 2, we are tired of deception. They speak as if they are going to do miracles to us. They don't do it. Sadly, we have a paradox of Africa, having everything and have nothing. You can't have everything and have nothing. How are you willing to change that? That rhetoric that the world has talked, that they have everything and have nothing. Number 4, how are you going to remove money from politics, which is a cancer and a pain?
Thank you very much. Let me give you one of the experiences which we have seen in this country. We have the best reports, but implementing them is not there. And many countries, including Rwanda, has got our reports and implemented them that have been a success story. Now, what is the reason? We can write well, but we cannot do work. Now you have brought a servant who can work. I can tell you, here is a servant you can rely on. I'll do what you are asking me. Removing money from politics is very important. You end up voting money instead of voting a leader. I am begging the people of Uganda this election, kindly change attitude. You vote leaders, don't vote money. Because when you vote money, the person will tell you, I bought you. I want to ask you, of course, that's why we wanted to amend the Elections Act of Presidential and Parliamentary, that the President should step aside so that this election could be free and fair. Currently, the current government, cannot differentiate it from NRM and the government. They are infused together. And now when a president gets money to give an entity, he's giving it as a president and claiming it as an NRM. So these are things we must deal with. Now, money in politics, it's high time. Don't follow it. In any case, if somebody gave you money you never asked, if it's from NRM, that's your public resource, eat it. But vote leaders like Nandala so that you can have better leaders for tomorrow. And I can assure you, if you vote a leader who is good like Nandala, he will do everything for you, and the money they paid you in 1 year, you will get it. In fact, they give you safe. Let me give an example, 10,000 shillings. Nandala is saying he's bringing 100 million in your village. So that means every villager might get maybe 5 million. Why do you leave 5 million to go for 10,000? And the 100 million is from your state coffers. While the one who gave you 10 from state coffers has left the balance. These are things you should think about. Even when you're electing your leaders at low level, don't go for money. Go for leaders and you'll be safe. And this one, of course, we need to make a law to deal with voter bribery in an election. The other one that we are deceitful, there are people who are deceitful, they have a mask, and I am not there. I don't have a mask. I am a man we see. What I'm speaking is what comes from my heart. What I work, I can do it. And you know, whatever I've been given an assignment. Ask colleagues I've been with in civil service, I've been with in the World International Market, World Bank, in international world. Ask Bugisu, I am a worker. If you give me an assignment, I do it. If you give me a bull, it will produce 10 cows at once. If you give me a stone, it will produce water. Give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I think those are the questions.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, upon being duly nominated. My name is Tracy Kanseme. I work with NBS Television, and mine is about the building bridges, fixing those that have been broken. Your party itself is no stranger to factions, and whereas we've seen cooperation agreements, memorandum of understandings with the other members of various political parties, yours seems to be under your leadership and that of the Honorable Patrick Boya-Moriat. It seems not to be the case. My question is, what are those strategies, concrete proof that you will be working to remedy, even within your political parties, those that have left and are yet to return? Because I think previously you said, let them go. And so I wonder if that tone or that rhetoric has changed, given the fact that now you're talking about building bridges and fixing those that are broken. Where do you start? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2001, I came to Parliament. We were in one-party system, which was called NRM. In 2004, we formed a party called the Forum for Democratic Change. I have been there since day one. I have never left. So that shows you I'm a consistent person. I was the Deputy Treasurer General of the party. In 2012, Dr. Besigye left the party, so they had to look for leadership. I contested with General Mutu and my younger brother Ekanya. I lost with 32 votes. I never left the party. And if you want to know, you could have tested, I would have left at that time because I knew I'd done well. I can't bring our internal issues here. In 2017, Poa, my big brother Poa, stood with General Mutu. General Mutu was a sitting president of the party. Poa beat General Mutu with over 300 village votes. Recall, during the campaign of 2012, they were calling me a villager, which I like. 2017, they called Poa a villager. So the villager beat a town person. Now, when he won that election, General Mutu decided to leave, to go and form a party called ANT, I'm hearing unfortunate stories about it, that they cannot even go to villages and get whatever they are supposed to get. But that's not a big story. So General Muntu went. In 2021, we went to an election. You remember it was COVID time. It was not an election. My party president, who stood poor, whom I have respect for, whom I must thank for saving us, he calls it a military operation. We lost. I hope this time there is no military operation. We're here for this election. So that clearly shows which man I have been consistent. I have never run away. And in 2016, we supported Dr. Yesige. Now, there are colleagues in their lives. They are either leaders or no, they don't want to be led. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's why when you see some of them running away, that is the reasoning. They don't want to be led. They want to be the only ones at the helm. Unfortunately, where they have even gone to lead, they have become, I don't want to mention. For example, let me give an example of PPF, which you are talking about recently. You know, my brother Ukwago is the president. My brother Semuju is the Secretary General, mobilizer, spokesperson, mentioned it, he has more than 4 portfolios. When they wanted to put a candidate, none of them came up. They wanted to be road mayors, they wanted to be members of Parliament. That means for them they are more comfortable to be at the helm, but not to show what it is. I was waiting forward to see Lukwago standing as a presidential candidate. I'm here, he's crying here to be a road mayor. And in fact, I want to ask people of Kampala, such leaders don't trust. They can be very dangerous to our country. But in that context, that applies also to my brother Semuji, whom I thought would be. Now, so they went wanting power, and they have got it, but they have failed to execute what they are supposed to do. That means if we had given them leadership, FDC would not have had a presidential candidate. Are you getting us? They would not have had a presidential candidate. If they were going to have, they would have demonstrated with PPF they have. So all those stated and said, we are not bad. Those who went with them, some of them were misled. But we want to ask our colleagues, come back. Come back, come back. We need to move forward. The journey to the struggle for our liberation is a longer journey. Of course, others will reach, others will drop off, but others will join. I ask more to join. I want also more to come and support us, even from other parties. So the bridges I'm building, everybody is free to come with us. And that's why I call on everybody in Uganda to support me. Under the bridge, I'll work for everybody. Ask anybody, wherever I've worked, if I've ever been sectarian, I have ever been tribalistic, I've ever been anything of that. When I was the leader of opposition, my driver was from West. My bodyguard was from Acholi. Are you getting this? When I was in my offices, when I worked in finance, my secretary were from West Nile. They are what? That's me. Even today they have given me guards. Akelo, Omoding. I would have asked to give me these ones. I'm not that category. So this is the only nationalist you have. And I can tell you, I am ready to build the bridges. And those which are spoiled, I will repair.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Nzetera Kaya nkola ne Bukedde TV ne Bukedde Fama. Honorable akalulu kano ke muzeemu. Bemuvuganya nabo aba NRM. Balinayo munaddala mu local government. Abantu be bayisaawo unopposed. Nga kitegeeza FDC teyasobola kusimbayo muntu. Ekyokulabirako district y'Essembabule yayisaawo chairperson owa LC5. Naye ng'ate amaanyi g'ebibiina gatandikira ddala eno wansi. Nga mulina ebitundu gye mutalina wadde abeesimbyewo. Akalulu mugenda kafeffetta mutya era musuubirayo obuwagizi?
Nziremu mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu? Webale. Essembabule nayo muganda wange bamuyita Ssekikubo Theodora. Waki wa NRM. Bwe yesimbawo mu primaries ndowooza abantu bafa. Abantu bakola ki? Bafa. Ebiriyo ebitundu ndowooza emundu yefuga. Ekyo kirina okugamba nti ensi eno tulina okujja emundu mu byobulonzi. Bwe tugenda okuteekawo abakulembeze baffe tujjewo emundu. Esembabule tulinayo abantu b'ebibiina nga FDC bangi naye batya kukola ki okufa. Ky'oba olaba bagamba kabagende. Ekintu ky'olina sure wadde mugenda ojja kutuuka ekiseera ojja kufa. At least that's a sure deal. You will die. But why should you kill somebody because of what? A vote. So ebyo ebitundu biliyo abantu baffe babatiisa buli kaseera. Ky'oba olaba twagala tusaba electoral commission ekomeo etuyambe ekole voter education buli mu kitundu. Olaba twagenda ekotido naffe ne tubeerayo ne bakansala baffe bayita opposite oba okimanyi naye ebiseera ebyo nga tebabakiriza okuyitawo kuba ffennyini twaliyo. Ekyo kikulaga naffe duwe ebitundu bye tuyisani opposite. Lwaki oleese Sembabule n'otagambako ebitundu ebirala? Naffe waliwo abantu baffe naye ffe tetukozesa ki mundu. Theodora bakose mundu ndowooza omanyi byavaamu luvannyuma. Akaaba wa FDC neda wa NRM. Twagala kusaba NRM edde mu nkola ekole ebintu bulungi.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Aloysius Byamukama. I am from Mama FM, which is a women-focused radio station. I have seen your position on agriculture, and now on climate change. We have seen a lot of changes, including the agricultural habits reducing totally. We have seen waters actually coming to settlements where people are. We have seen mountains in this country becoming so bare, a lot of sunshine, a lot of changes. Let me know your stand on this question about your climate change plan.
First of all, climate change is my main interest. Maybe if you want to know, my master's, my dissertation was on environmental. And I even said that unless we settle climate change, we're going to have disasters in this country. It's one of the themes at international level. So we must have financing in the environment to ensure that we deal with this environment. But who are destroying the environment is the developed countries. And we must deal with them. Either they pay for it or not. But also, by the time they do it, what are we doing as Uganda in our country? We have cut forests. We have cleared swamps. That's why you see silting of the roads and the land. If you go to Nakao when it has rained, that place used to be a swamp. Now water floods. There's a lake over there when it rains, and it has taken people. That is us ourselves. If we are doing it, what solution did we put? Mitigation solutions. So on environment, I want to tell you that I and my government, if you give me authority, will be our priority to ensure we have a better environment for our country. So we'll invest in it, we'll educate people about it, and when you invest in environment, you are improving the health of the people, you are improving agriculture. Let me give you an example. When we breathe out carbon dioxide. What you breathe in is oxygen, and oxygen is produced by plants like trees. So if you cut trees and you breathe out oxygen, there will be nothing to absorb that carbon dioxide. But in the end, you will breathe in the same carbon dioxide, which is dangerous. And that's why you see there's a lot of diseases caused because of such things. So we need to make our country green so that we are able to have healthy bodies and also to ensure that agriculture also thrives. I can tell you, you're talking to a student and a practitioner of environment. In the global market, of course, you are aware, under COP, I am one of the members on the finance committee on environment. And wherever I'm there, I am advocating for it. This year it will be in Brazil. Unfortunately, I will be in the campaign. I will not make it, but since you are good, I might nominate you to represent me.
Thank you, candidate Nandala Mafabi of FDC. I am Farida Rule the Executive Director of Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I am observing this process. I have 3 questions. One, what is your plan for the shrinking space for the civil society organizations currently in Uganda? 2, this I'm going to use Luganda. Nchimanyi mulungi nti oli muntu wa byanava oli mu economist mulungi. Tax policy yo egenda kubeera etya? Tax policy eriwo kati saawa zino ekusanyusa oba tekusanyusa? Let me give you one example. Nze bwe maafunye omusaala bwe gutulopinga ku account yange nina okusasula pay as you earn, nesasula NSSF. Bwe zivaako ne zigenda nengenda okuzijjako nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu supermarket ogulira abaana bange ebyokulya nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu katale nyina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Kwegamba government eri kunyunyuuta abantu abatono ennyo nti bye bali okufujjirira n'olaba nti omukyala atunda amenvu capital we wa $200 naye nga still government emulilayingako okubeera nga asasula omusolo. Kakati gwe nga candidate otegesa otya okulaba nti okozesa ebyo? Tulina amafuta, tulina gold, tulina so many resources. Otegesa otya? What is your plan okulaba nti nno tonyigidde government tenyonyuuta abantu ffe abawansi okuba nti nno tugirabirira kubanga we tutuuse tulina development. Ekyokusatu, embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 using owalaba abantu abamu omukyala yafiirwa omugulu nga security ekoseza amaanyi mangi n'omukyala omulala yafiirwa omwana we. Kakati nga gwe nga tonaba kwenyigira mu kalulu oteeseteese etya okulaba nti embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 tesobola kubeerawo mu 2026? Osobola okuba nti ogenda kuteeseganya otya n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga aliwo kati okulaba nti embeera eyo tebeerawo?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Can I answer this because I may forget?
Okay.
The last one, he was asking security. Mbere kitugenda kujikola ndoza kye kibuzo kya Electoral Commission. Ine kulaba elections zibera free and what? Fair. Naye tulina okwogeranga abasimbyewo tulabe nti security tegenda ekola ebintu ebitali bituufu. Era tusaba security organization, tusaba Electoral Commission, tusaba President wa Uganda naye candidate alabe nti elections zino zibeera free and fair. Kijja kumuyamba for credibility purposes. Tax base gyogambye ffenna tugimanyi. Endowooza oyogedde ku muntu amanyi bintu bya tax base, an expert internationally. Mubeera ne tax base entono ojja omusolo mu bantu batono ate oyagala by'okukozesa bingi. Kyoba olaba olina okukola tax base n'ebeera ennene omusolo ne gubeera muki mutono. Ebimu by'osabye by'ombuulidde pay as you earn eyo ekituufu musolo naye NSSF si musolo. Ezo savings zo bw'onaatuuka emyaka 55 ojja kugenda mu NSSF bazikuwe ne interest. Ezo tezoogerako, ezo zizo ziterese zifuna ne interest. Naye zogambye pay as you earn kikulaga nti bakulekerako okusooka bayita threshold. Kati bwe zirinya waggulu noba kujjako omusolo nga osasula nga bw'okola nga bw'ofuna pay as you osasula nga bw'ofuna. So the higher bw'ofuna nyingi nawe osasulako akantu kangi. Naye complaint yo yandibadde nti sente zange zino zensasula zikola mulimu ki? Kyo kyekizibu kuba ezisinga bazikolesa bubi, bazibba, bazikola ebintu ebitagasa mu kifo ky'okukoma mu economy zikole emirimu ezo ziyambye abantu ziyambe economy ekule so that economy bwekula omusolo nagwo gukola ki? Gukula. Naye okugukosa bubi economy tekula ate ebweshrinkinga abantu abatono be bajjako ki? Omusolo. Nga bw'oyogedde buli muntu asasula musolo buli agenda mu supermarket. Naye nze nina okugamba nti omusolo bwe gunaabeera mutono no productive sector yeyongere tugenda kukola nti sente zo zebayita disposable income. Disposable income is income oba omaze byonna ebeera mu makono g'okukozesa ejja kuba nyingi. Lw'ensonga nti bwe sekita bwe zikola bulungi sente zibeera nyingi, abantu babeera ne disposable income nyingi, mufa ky'okugula hafu kiro ya sukaali ojja kugulanga kiro 2 n'embeera yo nayo ebeera ennungi. Ekyo kiraga nti nawe besi yeeyongera kuba kati omusolo ogenda kusosola ku kiro 2 mu kifo kya kusosola ku hafu kiro, kubanga eyo naye bagiyita widening the tax base. Bw'ogula ebintu bingi omusolo gubeera mungi, naye gubeera wadde mutonotono naye ebintu bingi zibeera nyingi okusinga okugula hafu kiro omusolo gubeera at high rate naye nga musolo mutono. So productive sector zenko ogugambyeko zigenda kweyongera. Kati gwe ofuna olaba threshold entono kubanga abantu babandifujja mu musaala ne bajjako omusolo singa babadde bangi okifuna payers and yandibadde wansi, naye kasita muli batono aba earning income kyobalaba payers and ebeera waggulu. Ekyo kitugenda kukirwanisa tukole economy, abantu babeere n'emirimu, ab'emirimu babeera bangi tubajjako omusolo nagwo mungi. Kyogambye nti civil society is your right kiri mu constitution article 28-29 freedom of association, freedom of speech. This the president should bank on, will ensure the freedom of speech, freedom of association. The public must speak, the media must speak, and I want to tell you that constitution was a good constitution, and I want to state one of the items which shall be on our agenda. Number 1 is to reinstate term limit of a president, to cut powers of a president. Those are the things you must do. A president must be a worker, not a boss. Mama mbuziza bisatu. Ebizemu.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any country to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being a backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows and benefits Uganda? Thank you so much.
Those two I'm going to, but I think I forgot one item of this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill to be able to have the man who deals with maize to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed, because as a byproduct of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we are saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when a Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a longer way to build the economy. I think that's what Madam, you wanted also, maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative society, to have their produce processed. Like maize, we should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now, Intungam can have a factory for coffee, which has very little coffee, but you cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon side, and there's an entity like Bujis Cooperative, which government, if it was a Senate government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's why we get. So we must have industrialization, have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro-processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agriculture bank to deal with agriculture, because there is a lot of loss, because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but are not being done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. Agriculture bank to help the process from growing the product from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person who should lead marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we are going to industrialize agriculture sector. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, if you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there is free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it helps on WhatsApp, and of course, whatever social media, it can do it, but it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts. They send the accounts to UK, they are paid a check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing, but because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that digital is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know Lotus, 1, 2, 3, those who know WordPerfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm told, so I finished all your questions. Now I want to ask all of you, the media people, be my campaign managers. Tell the whole world that the best candidate is Nandala Mafadhi. I want to ask people of Uganda again that I'm your candidate. I'm a candidate who has no hate, who has no hatred, who comes to build bridges, who loves every Ugandan. I am one of those whom we should trust. Above all, I am a God-fearing person. I love God, I love my God. I have been married with my wife, Flora Nandala, the woman, for 32 years. And we have no plans of leaving each other. And we want... I came here with my bishop. I want to introduce my bishop and his wife, Bishop Patrick Giroud, and Mama. Thank you for escorting me. Of course, all those people are people of FDC. I want to introduce my brother Jack Sabit, who has been my mentor from civil service up to now. I want to introduce my brother Poa, whom I've known for over 30 years. We will live together. I want to talk about my sister, Margaret. Thank you for being there for me in all those dungeons. Colleagues, I am so grateful. I can tell you I have a friend of mine I met in Parliament in 2001. He's called Chwanda Godfrey. Mama Tata, sorry. That was my brother until he crossed and abandoned me. But I'm asking you as the chairman of NSF, please join me. I want to thank my nephew for joining this meeting. This is my nephew, Dr. Sranda, from Secretary General of FDC. Thank you, thank you. They have given me a microphone. This is my opportunity. I have my brother Joab from Masindi. Thank you so much for joining me. I have my big brother Mukalada. Thank you for chairing FDC up to now. I have my brother Wante. Thank you for always being there. Wante, when they sacked me from Mwiri, you looked after me. I have my brother Olanya from Acholand. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah. I have my elder sister who is Madam President, Madam Jessica Modoa. That's the one who puts food on my table. I have my sister Franca. Okay. My sister, thank you for joining me. I have my nominator and my sister from another mother. Kabogo, my sister, the MP for Kasese. My sister, thank you for being there for me. I have my brother Fungaro Caps. It is great you are with me. I have my younger brother, Geoffrey Kanya. Thank you for being there. I have my brother, Konyogo, my spokesperson. Thank you very much. I have my daughter who is contesting in Buyukwe, called Namanga. I may fail to introduce everybody, but all of you, thank you for coming. I'm so grateful. I have my bodyguard. He's here. Number 64718. This is my bodyguard. Thank you very much for bodyguarding me. I want to thank the translators. It was great seeing you. The media, Elamba Noi, Mwanya Lalugali, Wela Beninanye.
Thank you so much, Candidate Nandala Mafabi. I now hand you.
Candidate Nandala Mafabi, after addressing the media, which is part of the organization of the event, because after being duly nominated by the Electoral Commission, then you handed over your security car with a team of security personnel to give you 24/7 protection. And thereafter, you go and address the media. He talked of a number of issues that he's going to be handling. And of course, we know for FDC, among all the contestants so far, they have their manifesto. It was launched, so it is already known. You can just pick interest and go into that. It seems to a certain extent to be so good to be true, and I know Ugandans could have picked out a number of things. He explained a number of things, but no, I'm not alone. I have Adope Francis, who is the National Youth Leader, Forum for Democratic Change. Now, still, we are seeing him. He's going to be moving out of the venue and heading to Kasoko, so that is in Butabika, where he's going to be addressing his first rally as a presidential candidate. But remember, campaigns are not officially opened. Campaigns will officially kick off on the 29th of this very month, and they will run to the 12th of January this very month. Now, as of now, you're just having that first rally after nomination. But also the good news is that also the Alliance for National Transformation president of Agbera in this race, retired General Mugisha Muntu, will also be nominated today. He has fulfilled the requirement of the signatures and has been issued with a certificate that yes, he has been able to avail at least 100 signatures in a minimum of 100 signatures in 98 districts, making a 2/3 of the districts in Uganda. Now, coming back to the gentleman I have in studios, beginning with that from the FDC, your president, your party president, has talked about unifying, building bridges. Now, when we look at this race, 2026, one of the things that comes out properly is, much as you have NRM as a competitor in 2026, it also seems more as opposition competing against opposition. You know, you'll hear many, actually, even he also hinted when he said, I'm told they could not even raise signatures. You heard that phrase? You know, I'm told they could not even raise signatures. I think was it updated that Ant has already been able to do that. Do we see any way of bridging these gaps? Some countries have even come up with one sole candidate for the opposition. This wasn't it.
Yeah, I think first of all, I would request you, all of you, that you join me and we salute the presidential candidate who has been nominated by really slanting the One Uganda, One People slogan, because we are all aiming for a better Uganda. One Uganda, One People. You replied that One People. One Uganda, One People. No, the slogan is for Ugandans. But when you look at what the president has spoken, I'm just
botuuka damu ogisharing nga tebanaba kubanga beyongerayo bwe batyo babasuuse kubanga ate bagenda kujjukira Mama Jole Amogisha obudde buno bwennyini wano ku kibiina kya National Unity Platform. Nsaba botuuka sooka ogimpereka share, botuuka sooka ogimpereka share. Kasaga nsaba botuuka nkole ekintu kimu gyempere bweshare basoose kubanga ate bajjukira Maama Jole Amogisha. Ndi ku Facebook kokka, TikTok nvuddeyo. Botuuka nsaba gyempere share era oŋŋambe nti sama Uganda kwendi. Bwetyo nsaba botuuka gisharing busharinzi basoose balimu kubanga abajjukira Maama Jole Amogisha obudde buno. Yenze asama yuki guno omukutu guli gwe bayita bebbo obasama Uganda. Guno omukutu ogukulembera ku National Unity Platform netiwaka iyo President bwatyo ali mu kuteekawo kando kussa ne maama bamaze okubanga bateekawo kando okwongera okujjukira omugenzi yali deputy president owa Western Maama
Jolly Mugisha eyafa era yafa ku lunaku lw'olwito. So President anabakulembeze basose kubanga babajjukira okuteekawo ebimuli wano ku National Unity Platform mu Loving Memories. Network wano wetwe wajuddewo jama tulina kugigumira mpola. So kyekyo ekiriwo abalungi mwenna abali ku mukutu gwa sama Uganda. Obudde buno bwennyini aba moving time twolekera kati ku nomination. Panatulia marugala tuze maaso. Jama.
neyanze nzirabye maha barakallahu fikum Allah kudizeewo sigenda zoogera zinyingi nnyo nenga neyanze barakallahu fikum ma save my number ya save it yangu asisebe
ebbanga libadde gwanvu Katonda amaze natuusa ku lunaku lwa leero obulumi bungi bwe tuyisemu ebbanga lino lyonna era olwaleero lwennyini lutujjukiza ti olwaleero lwennyini kwezi omwaka mulamba olwaleero lwegweze omwaka tanga deputy president waffe mama Jolly Mugisha yali deputy president wa Western Uganda mkyanga atufaako olunaku lwa leero nga tutambula nsaba tumuteeke emitima gyaffe tumanye nti si nsobi kuba nti omu ku bannaffe twali twagala ennyo era atuwa amaanyi yatugendako ku lunaku luno era olunaku luno lutuuse nga tulina obuvunaanyizibwa obw'amaanyi bwe tulina okukola obuvunaanyizibwa obwo tukola mu linnya lye ne mu mannya ga bannaffe bonna bonna abatasobola kubeerawo naffe leero naye nga tulina okutuukiriza misioni yaabwe balyoke batwesimmiremu saba tugende ku nomination ne discipline n'obugumu nga tulina okukkiriza mu Katonda waffe nga tulina n'essuubi tubeere disciplined tubeere bampisa tubeere banjawulo tugaane okusoomoozebwa obusungu tubusibe ku nkondo tulage ekifaananyi Uganda empya kyena okubeera nga Mukama atukulembedde njagala okuyita onego balimulizo nsaba musirikireko tuyongeyo maaso ga Katonda then tugende mission to freedom.
Kitaffe taata omulungi nani nikulu tujja maaso nga tukwebaza olunaku olwaleero olugenda okukola history. Tukwebaza olwa president waffe, tukwebaza olwa famire ye, tukwebaza olwa abakulembeze bonna, tukwebaza olwa bannayuganda. Kitange omulungi olunaku olwaleero nga tugenda okukola president waffe okwewandiisa. Tukusaba Mukama Katonda waffe otwetooleze maleka abakuumi. Tumanyi nti sitaani yajja kutta kubba na kuzikiriza. Naye twetolooza oluganda maleka abakuumi taata. Tukusaba otutekeko obukuumi bwe. Tukusaba buli sekinyoma agenda okugenda akomewo mirembe. Tuziyize enkola z'omulabe sitaani. Sitaani akolesa abantu. Sitaani ayinza okuyingira mu mitima gy'abasirikale batulugunya abantu. Tumuziyiza mu linnya erisinga amaanyi. Taata omulungi nanyini oyima mu ggulu leka amafuta gatuke, leka amafuta gate ku pulezidenti wa taata afune okuganja bwanalinnya afune okuganja era taata kuleeta munnaffe erali mu kupage yatugendako kuleeta famire ye kuleeta abantu be bonna leka Mukama Katonda supage gyalwanirira etuukirire linnya erisinga amaanyi era Katonda omulamu.
Yagala okubajukiza nga bwe tubagambye nti beteeseteese okubakolako obulabe yagala mubawe chance. Basaba ababaano mwenna abasobola musibire nateete ku kisaawe. Tetugenda ku nomination, tetugenda kutuukayo bantu bangi era twagala tugende tunominatinge tukomewo olwo tusimbule nga tuli wamu mwenna nga muli safe.
Isimayi ngenda twambu basalongo bonna nekirabika Zanima salongo nga yafulumya
Alright, embera bwete wekyagenda masino kubanga tetambula kakati tusimbudde gwe wena atumbudde omukutu KKTV Uganda era nga tugenda masino kubanga tukutuusaako coverage yonna nga His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu aka BobiWine agenda masino kubanga ate anominatingwa olunaku olwaleero. Embera bwete wekyagenda masino kubanga ate etambula gwe wena atumbudde omukutu KKTV Uganda akanyongera ogenda masino kubanga ate nkutuusaako live ogende masino kubanga ate omanya ensonga zonna mwana wa maama mwana wa taata naye nga yo embeera bweti wekyayimiridde bweti wekyagenda maaso n'okubanga ate etambula ensonga zonna ogenda genda maaso n'okubanga ate ozifuna bulambalamba togenda kuzifuna walala nagambye wano ku mukutu gwokka KKTV Uganda oyina ogenda maaso n'okubanga ate omanya ensonga zonna nga bwe zigenda maaso n'okubanga ate zitambula. Moving time.
The day is today that we all been waiting. This is the second chance that the line is coming for you. It's upon us Ugandans to sign today. This is a new Uganda now. It's a slogan of national unity.
For centuries, humanity believed giants were just a myth. When we arrived,
of Uganda is set to move to Rubawa at exactly 2 he'll be nominated again for the big seat of this nation. He's our president, he's your president, he's our leader, he's your leader. Let's join hands. This is the day that we should all stand. It's a day It's a day that we should all stand together. It's a day that we are all with. The people's leader. The people's president. Just remember bidao. Abe kambia wano kole wamu.
Alright, embera bwetu wekyagenda maaso okubanga tetambula. Ampuliriza poliisi eyagala kutandika kubikola wano. Poliisi eyagala kutandika kubikola.
The ghetto gladiator.
Bannakibiina ba NUP officials bonna poliisi egenda maaso okubanga ate egenda maaso okubanga ate ebagoberera naye ng'okubagoberera kwegenda maaso okubanga ate ebagoberera muganda bange kiringa egitali mirembe okusinziira kye tugenda maaso okubanga tetulaba kiringa egitali mirembe saawa yonna nabagamba eno sifu bino tuli mu byaddala gwe wena ali ku mukutu Keke TV Uganda embeera bwe tuwekyagala masiro okubanga teetamu saawa yonna byanditabuka embeera si nnungi President amaze okusimbula naye muga muganda wange wetwogerera bino si birungi n'akamu n'akatono n'akeddagala poliisi erina byeyagala otandika okukola poliisi eyagala kujjayo ag'omu buto poliisi eyagala kujjayo amaanyi gonna emaze okuyungula abawanvu n'abantu okusinziira ku kyetugenda maaso n'okubanga tetulaba naye President agenze maaso n'okubanga ate ayingira ekkubo eddene Auntie.
The Ugandans have spoken again.
Auntie.
The Ugandans have spoken again. My.
Amaze okubanga ate ayingira eddene agenda ku nomination tugenda mu ssaawa 7 nakugambye watukira mu nomination obudde bujja kuba bwebwo tugenda mu ssaawa 7 tuli mu ssaawa 6 embeera bweti wegenda maaso okubanga
nothing can stop the revolution. Not even guns.
Auntie.
Basibye emmundu zonna ku kiryango mu kitebe. Batadde emmundu zonna ku kitebe.
Naye nkubuulira my friend kama mbaya nimbaya wano wagenda kubeerawo embeera tukyagenda maaso okubanga tetukuweereza tukatya tujja tukyagenda maaso okubanga tetweyongerayo tukatya kati ate katukuleetere ekigenda maaso ekirala ekyoba olina okumanya nti bitabuseemuko naye nga ssaawa yonna embeera egendagenda maaso okubanga ate etereera tukuleetera live endala tova ku mukutu kubanga kakati ate wano ekiddako waliwo kyenengedde nga biyinza obutaba birungi so saagala ove ku mukutu gwe wenna ampuliriza ali ku Keke TV Uganda kankuteereyo live endala wano Alright, embeera bweti wekyagenda maaso okubanga tukomyewo President ali mu ddene agenda ku electoral commission